Hi. So I've always wanted to try to do one of these 24-hour reading challenges. Like, you set a timer for 24 hours and you don't sleep and you just see how much you can read in 24 hours. Always wanted to try. You know, I thought I would have my crack at it. So I just finished this the other day, all right? So if I look rough, I'm very sleep deprived. You don't want to know how much orange color corrector is sitting right here to make this look possible today. But I'll give you a quick rundown of my TBR. Yellowface by Rebecca Kwong. Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erickson. Farenheight 451, Ray Bradbury. Anne Frank's Diary by Anne Frank. You understand the concept, I'm pretty sure. Like, 24-hour period, read without stopping, like, you know what I mean? A snail could understand. So I'm not gonna insult you anymore by explaining. Without further ado, let's read for 24 hours and see how much we can do. We officially start in 1 minute. And we're off. Okay, so here's our TBR lineup for the next 24 hours. Look at his discography. Someone needs to check on Ray Bradbury. How much? What's he written? Bradbury Speaks, Bradbury Stories, Ray Bradbury Stories Volume 1, Ray Bradbury Stories Volume 2. Ray Bradbury needs to put the pen down. Ray is a demon with a pen in his hand. That's an insane backlist. Ray is churning out books like he's trying to make up for all the books burnt in this story. Fahrenheit 451, the temperature at which book paper catches fire and burns. Okay. The way this man talks, this man's inner monologue, it's like stream of just rambly, like, how does a brain work like that type of monologue? She had a very thin face, like the dial of a small clock seen faintly in a dark room in the middle of a night, when you awaken and see the time and see the clock telling you the hour and the minute and the second, with a white silence and a glowing all certainty in knowing what it has to tell of the night passing swiftly on toward another darkness, but also moving toward a new sun. What? Girl, what? Ray Bradbury, I've said it before, I'll say it again, put the pen down. This is crazy. Already, I've tabbed up 2 things. Listen to this. Does this not feel like where our society is heading? Have you seen the 200-foot-long billboards in the country beyond town? Did you know that once billboards were only 20 feet long, but cars started rushing by so quickly that they had to stretch the advertising out so that it would last? Honestly, that doesn't feel too far off from our reality. His wife's name is Mildred. Diva. Baddie, diva, it girl, Mildred. Oh my god, if I had a name like Mildred, I would be the nastiest. Oh my god, you don't even want to know how I would act if my name was Mildred. Because then imagine, like, you just do something absolutely unhinged and heinous and everyone's like, Mildred, I'm ready to sleep. I'm gonna have to wake up early and just try to keep going, because 3 a.m. Here's our progress. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm cooked. I think I need to sleep for at least like 4 hours and then we'll come back. We're throwing in the towel for tonight. Howdy. Let's keep this short and sweet. Let me explain. It's almost 24 hours later. Hello. Hello. Can we get the white balance back? That would be great. Let me recap the last 24 hours. Went to sleep, conked out, best sleep of my life. Oh my god, oh my god. My friend came over, we were supposed to make our vision boards. We spent 10 hours making them. I'm not even kidding. We spent 10 hours. Don't ask me what we were doing, but pretty much where that brings us to now. I thought about it, I was like, oh, do I just give up on the 24-hour challenge? And I thought, you know what, never give up. Never give up. If you need to bend the rules, if you need to snap the rules in half, you do what needs to be done, you know? So here we are, snapping the rules up like glow sticks. So I thought about it, I'm like, okay, if we just like pick up where we left off and we continue the 24 hours, we can just like pretend that that time jump never happened. We ended it on 3:05. We were 3 hours and 5 minutes in. So we're gonna set a new timer, except we're gonna start it when it hits 3:05. It'll be like nothing happened, swept under the rug, you know? Very on brand. I say we do it. And you know what? I'm the one steering this ship. I feel like I have a better chance this time around because I don't have anything on tomorrow. The only thing I'm doing is I'm meeting with a couple of my friends and we're going for like a walk in the morning through the park. And these friends have seen me at literally some of my most diabolical low moments. It's not gonna matter if I rock up like half dead. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, I haven't slept. And they'll just be like, all right, walk it off, you know? And then we'll walk it off. That'll be the plan. Okay, we've got 5 minutes before we can start. How's the book going? Oh, this guy, his name's Guy Montag, and his wife, Mildred Montag, she is actually like the worst. She's actually the worst. Imagine being married to this absolute witch. She's like snitching on her own husband. Do you also, like, lady, You don't have a job. All you do is sit and watch TV all day. Like, if your firefighter husband loses his job because you snitched on him, your life goes away as well. He's hiding a book. Okay, for those of you who don't know what this book is about, pretty much like we've reached a point in society where everything offends everyone, so they've decided we're just gonna ban everything. Like, we're just gonna ban all books because there's no book that can exist without offending somebody. And so the firefighters in this world, instead of putting out fires, they light books on fire. If you're seen with a book collection, they come and they burn it. He gets called out to a house. There's a lady that's keeping books in the attic. Her neighbor dobbed her in. She decides to like burn with her book. She's like a captain going down with her ship. She's a librarian going down with her library. She'd rather just burn with the books, right? And so this kind of freaks him out. He saves one of the books. He's like, if people are prepared to die for their book collection, like, I need to know what this is. I need to get in on this. So he like hides a book under his shirt, hides it behind his pillow. Dude, he pretends to be sick. He's like, I'm not going into work. Like, I'm traumatized. I'm sick. You're not sick. Me. It's like, how about shut up? And then the boss comes over. She's like trying to pull the book out from behind the pillow, and she's like all like deviously happy about it. Like, oh, what's this? Do you have scrambled eggs for brains? Because I'm pretty sure this is giving off like 1950s vibes where the women like don't have rights. So it's like, if he gets in trouble and like, your life goes away too. Oh my God. And then not only that, just like the lack of empathy. She makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. I just can't. Anyway. Okay, 305. We've reached it. Bang. There we go. We're on. Again. Take 2. Shut up. It's my readathon. Can we just talk about this dude? He reveals to his wife that he's been keeping books, right? She has like a bad reaction to it. She goes to like pick up the books and start burning them. Like, she runs to the incinerator to go burn the books, and he's like, no, stop, wait, you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, he slaps her in the face. He slapped her face, he grabbed her again, and he shook her. Millie, listen, just give me a second, will you? Blah, blah, blah. We can't burn them. You lost me. Switching sides. I'm team Mildred. Like, Mildred, you better burn up every single book in that house. Because all of a sudden, listen to this. He reveals all the books, right? And he goes, I'm sorry. I didn't really think, but now it looks like we're in this together. Absolutely not. Looks like we're in this together. Look again. Whether we like this or not, we're in it. Figuring out why we're in such a mess. This isn't going to be easy. We haven't got anything to go on, but maybe we can piece it out and figure it out and help each other. A lot of we being thrown around right now, you know what I mean? We nothing. Like, you have a problem. If you love me at all, you'll put up with this. First of all, if you throw out the line, if you love me, you'll do this, I'm gone. I'm gone. Magically, I don't love you. Never did. I don't know if that would make me a bad wife. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, if my husband ever popped out being like, hey, I've been doing this illegal thing, what are we gonna do? Darling, we aren't doing it. We are a memory. I don't want you to talk about we. The only thing we are going to be doing is going our separate ways. One thing about me, I'm not going to let some crazy man derail me in my life. Like, I feel Mildred. You know what? I actually understand her. She's like, I had a good thing going here. I had my 3-screen TV. You know what I mean? I had my programs that I watched. You're going to come in here all crazy and ruin that for me. I've switched sides. I'm all about Mildred now. And now he's like forcing her to read the books. See ya. Man, that slap, that fictional slap has fully turned me against the character, like, faster than I didn't even have time to move on to the next word in that sentence, and I immediately switch sides. Immediately I'm rooting for his downfall. Immediately I'm on Mildred's side. Immediately I'm going for the enemy. I just about want to die. It's 5:20 a.m. Hallelujah, we have finished book 1. Honestly, I'm so tired. Now that I've finished a book, I'm gonna try to sleep like a couple hours. Oh, I look so tired and cooked. Big slay. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We're making coffee. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. Shut up. It's actually good. You know what? You don't deserve to know. Okay, I'm gonna make some toast. I don't know if sleeping made it better or worse. You know what I mean. We're gonna make some toast and then I'll get ready. We'll go for this walk. How long until I need to leave? Oh my God. It's fine. I've got time to make eggs. Cheers. That line is so real. Hold up. That line right there is so real. You're the right thing, but for the wrong man. Oh my God. And the fact that it's Fedez singing it. Do I still have any Italians watching my channel? Are you following the Fedez Chiara Ferragni drama? Someone say yes. Someone please say yes. I remember this song had recently come out. It was Christmas time. We went into Milan and we went to City Life. I literally saw Chiara Ferragni sitting. I think she was at Venki. She was sitting there with her son Leone and some guy, I think her bodyguard. I saw her in real life. Just crazy, you know what I mean? Just crazy. Like, I literally can't believe it. 6 years. That whole situation, literally, this is why I have trust issues. This is why I'm never getting married. How does something like that even happen, dude?
Fame. Oh, look at her. Now she's too good for us. Fame's changed her. Okay, miss.
Getting shy.
Chloe, tell us your book recommendation.
It's called That Island Feeling.
That Island Feeling.
I'm pretty sure she's an Australian author.
What's the author's name?
Let me find it. I'll get the info. I'm not sure if you know of this website.
Goodreads? I had to block you on Goodreads.
Karina May is her name.
Yeah.
Why?
Harassed me too much. Evie wants you to join her. Evie wants you to like her status.
Yeah, and you tell about harassment. All I fucking get is like, Lily is now friends with, Lily is now friends with,
So author's name?
Karina May.
That Island Feeling, picture here.
I imagine it being set on Rottnest Island is how I did it.
Is how I did it.
You don't have to. Choose your interpretation. It's an island with like no cars and stuff, so very similar. Anyway, it's about a group of friends who go on a holiday to this island because one of them has just gotten divorced.
Slow.
The girl who organised it is currently having a bit of a tough time at life. Mum just died and then her dad has dementia, so she's like a full-time carer. Plans the holiday to a T.
The friend.
The friend?
The divorced one.
No, not the one.
Oh, the friend of the divorced one.
Yeah, and then so she has like a colour scheme for the whole thing. Every day is planned.
This is what you were asking about.
Yellow. Yellow. They get to their accommodation and it's been double booked with a bucks party.
So, where's the part where the fisherman comes in?
So he's not the fisherman. He's like the island all-rounder, I would call him.
You're not selling it to me.
No. He is currently running all like the hospitality on the island because all the people who live there have left since the tourism went down. It's just like renting out their houses.
Without their permission?
No. They're all friends. And anyway, he comes over to sort out the mix-up in accommodation. She's like, oh, it's the hot boat driver dude. He like is keen on her from the start and keeps asking her on dates, but she's like, I can't ruin the schedule.
Are you just telling us the whole plot? Are you just giving away the whole plot right now?
She ends up meeting all the people on the island and falling in love with her. Read the book to find out the rest.
Do they both just stay, because they double book their accommodation, are they both all just staying in the same room?
Well, they end up all being friends and hanging out together.
But is there beef or what? Like,
Well, yeah, because then anyway, no, I'm not telling you.
is it like Love Island?
Is it one of those books everyone matches up with someone?
No.
Where does the fisherman come into it?
I've already spoken about him.
Is he a love interest?
Does it give her a pearl?
Does he dive for a pearl for her?
He does.
Oh, well, I'm reading it then.
Oh, but I missed the most important part. She chose to go to that island because it's where her parents honeymooned.
Ah. Okay.
Oh, because
Just like I hate that.
so wait. Is the island her parents went for their honeymoon?
Ellie, can you please walk?
To celebrate her friend's divorce, she takes them to an island where her parents met.
They didn't meet there. They honeymooned there.
But so that she
Get
can
it right.
so that she can find love.
Does she hate her
I mean, it's lovely.
Why yellow?
Dude,
Oh, they're gorgeous.
look at him being so polite. Yes. Look at her with all of her dog gang. Her little dog friends.
I've started it. My skin is insane. Hot, dude, so hot today. It's actually diabolical. So I always had an issue with reading this book because I thought that it was like Anne never thought it would be published, never intended for it to be published. And that always kind of made me feel a little bit like weird. This is like, okay, so I always had an issue with reading it. I read the introduction to the book and it basically explains that Anne always wanted to be a writer. She always wanted to be a journalist. I think like a year before the war finished, it was announced on the radio or something that they wanted to like share the stories of people. Anyone that had written like letters or diaries, they would be collecting it all and they wanted it published and all this stuff, right? So when Anne found that out, she started revising her diary and started making a version that would be like publishable. They've pulled from her original version and they've pulled from the version that she wanted like published, and like that's the version that we have today. So knowing that she actually did intend for that to get published one day makes me feel a lot better about reading it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's like, man, that's just a little girl's diary. Like I didn't even want to read it, so I put it off for so long, and I always felt some kind of way about the fact that it got published, but knowing that makes it like, oh, okay. And knowing that her dream was to be a writer and a journalist, and the fact that in a way she's actually been able to do that. I'm literally so tired. Where's the book? I feel like it looks so dead. It's not cute for anyone. You know when you just look crap and you just feel crap? Okay, my thoughts on Fahrenheit 451. So Fahrenheit 451, I wasn't like really a fan of the writing. I'm just like not really a fan of that really flowery type of writing. But you know what? It was like that in the beginning, and then it's like Ray Bradbury just gave up on that halfway through. And then all of that like flowery writing just kind of like went away, which thank God, because it made the book bearable reading. I'm not a fan of that type of writing, I'll be so real with you. Is this really like... The whole nose is an issue, okay? This is what happens when you don't take care of yourself. When I eat bad and sleep bad and I'm stressed, it just shows up on my face. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people. I gave it like a 4-star rating overall. I love the whole notion of like people that have read the books and people who read and are educated. That is something that can never be taken from you. You can burn every book, but the book lives on in my mind, in my memory, in my head. It's the same type of thing with education. It's if you prioritize the pursuit of education and knowledge really is power. Knowledge and education is one thing that can never be taken away from you. Yeah, so that was a really good book. Is this making me look a little bit less sleep deprived and dead? Okay, anyway, with Anne Frank, I've only read like 50 pages, but the beginning of her diary is so funny. She's just like absolutely dogging out every single classmate that she has at school, to the point where they have to omit some of the names of the kids. They have to just use their initials instead of their real names because they didn't want to be identified. She'll be like, this kid's a brat, this kid's a brat. Absolutely pop off, Anne. Like, go off. J.R, the initials. I could write a whole book about her. J is a detestable, sneaky, stuck-up, two-faced gossip who thinks she's so grown up. Easily offended, bursts into tears at the slightest thing, and to top it all off is a terrible show-off. Miss J always has to be right. She's very rich and she has a wardrobe full of the most adorable dresses that are much too old for her. She thinks she's gorgeous, but she's not. Jay and I can't stand each other. Ilsa likes me a lot. She's very clever but lazy. G.Z is the prettiest girl in our class. She has a nice face, but she's a bit stupid. And I think they're gonna hold her back a year, but of course I haven't told her that. It's so funny. And then she talks about like, this boy has a crush on this girl, and she rattles off the name of like 5 guys that have a crush on her. She's like, here are all of my admirers, and she like rattles off a list. Rob Cohen used to be in love with me too, but I can't stand him anymore. He's an obnoxious, two-faced, lying, sniveling twit with an awfully high opinion of himself. That is actually so funny. Harry Shapp is the most decent boy in the class. He's all right. Sam Salamon's one of the real tough guys from a rough part of town, but he's a real brat. In brackets, admirer. Like, he's another admirer of hers. She is such a diva. You know what I mean? Teenage girl gossiping in her diary, just like living a regular life. And I love that that's in there. Like, really, I didn't think it would be that entertaining of a start. Anne really came for everyone's neck, and yes, girl. Obsessed with this. My sister got me this for Christmas. The book is, we're off to an amazing start. I made myself some bone broth. Rise and grind, everyone. We didn't rise, we've just been grinding. This is chicken bone broth in here, actually. Really, really good for you. Has heaps of collagen. Really good for your joints. Really good for your skin. That's really good. And then black breeze. Here's our update on the time. Here's our progress. Been highlighting and tabbing it. Oh my god, it's gotten so sad. Like, look at this line here. Oh my god, this line messed me up. We're on 162. It's just so surreal reading this. That's all I have to say, really. Progress, we're like at the halfway point. Hello, can we see the time? All right, we've hit 5 o'clock. As you can see, we've finished the book. I love Anne's personality. She would have taken over the world in this day and age if she lived now, because oh my god, I've just ripped up a sticky note and half the words came with it. Just ripped up this sticky note and half the words have come off the page with it. They'll never silence you, Anne, don't worry. Never using that in my books again. Listen to how, this is the kind of self-talk that I aspire to. She's talking about the heavenly existence that was the life before living in these walls, okay? She's describing herself, her life. She goes, yes, it was heavenly. 5 admirers on every street corner, 20 or so friends, the favorite of most of my teachers, spoiled rotten by my father and mother, bags full of sweets and loads of pocket money. What more could anyone ask for? You're probably wondering how I could have charmed all those people, and Peter says it's because I'm attractive. But that isn't it entirely. The teachers were amused and entertained by my clever answers, my witty remarks, my smiling face, my critical mind. That's all I was. A terrible flirt. I had a few plus points which kept me in everyone's good graces. I was hardworking, honest, gracious, generous. I would have never refused anyone who wanted to peek at my answers. She's so real for that. I love it. And then she obviously does, she springboards off the back of that into an actually very introspective look at like how she's changed being in like the inside of this annex. But she talks about like her advice. This one actually struck with me. I don't know, it really hit. Listen to this. This is where my mother and I differ greatly. Her advice in the face of melancholy is think about all the suffering that's in the world and be grateful that you're not a part of it. And she goes, my advice, enjoy the sun and all that nature has to offer. Go outside and try to recapture the happiness within yourself and think of all the beauty in yourself and in everything around you and be happy. I don't think mother's advice can be right, because what are you supposed to do if you become part of the suffering? You'd be completely lost. On the contrary, beauty remains, even in misfortune, if you just look for it. Which is so real, because if you're just walking through life thinking, oh, at least I don't have it as bad as them, what if one day you do have it as bad as them, or worse? And the only thing that was keeping you afloat was this belief of, oh, at least I'm not them. Listen to this too, this one. This part here, she says, I can't imagine having to live a life like Mother and Mrs. Van Daan and all the women who go about their work and are then forgotten. I need to have something besides a husband and children to devote myself to. I don't want to have lived in vain like most people. I want to be useful or bring enjoyment to all people, even those I've never met. I want to go on living even after my death. But that is a big question. Will I ever be able to write something great? Will I ever become a journalist or a writer? Oh, and just like the fact that she has written a book deemed to be a modern classic, one of the most famous, recognized and read titles in the world. Like, she has achieved that goal of becoming a journalist and a writer, and it's just like beautiful knowing that like her wishes did come true, even though she's not around to see it. And there's so many quotes in here that are just, oh my god, they're just so heartbreaking. By the end of the book, like her view, she's just so wise. Her way of thinking is so changed, so developed. She's so wise beyond her years, which is crazy to think that someone's character can develop that much without leaving a room. Like, you know what I mean? Because you'd think that like people grow and evolve and gain more wisdom through their lived experiences out in the world, and it just goes to show, like, even though she's never left that annex from the day they went in there for multiple years, the way that her like outlook on life and her views have grown and developed, and just the wisdom that she managed to acquire from like without even having to step foot outside, like it's just all the inner growth. Like it's actually insane to see like the journey that she has taken introspectively throughout this whole experience in there, and the person that she is by the end of the book. It's just crazy. And then the thing that really just like is like a stab in the heart is the fact that she died like only a few weeks before the war was ended, and the camps were like, it's going on the favorite shelf is where it's going. It's actually a must read. I'm just gonna say that right now. All right, it's almost 5:30, next book. And I honestly think with the way we're going for time, it's probably gonna be our last book. Let's go, Surrounded by Idiots. You know, 7 o'clock. Mate, I'm so tired. It's a miracle I'm here. We're about 100 pages in. We've been learning things. This man, Mr. Tormes, no. What's happening? Does that look right? Thomas Erickson. That was like way harder than it needed to be. Okay, this book splits people up into like 4 subgenres. The world is comprised of reds, yellows, greens, and blues. 80% of the population are a mix of like 2 of these colors. There's like a 5% have only about 1 color that dominates like their entire behavior, and then everyone else is like maybe 3, but no one can really fit into all 4 categories because they would contradict each other too much. I don't know. Anyway, so listen. Red behavior. A red person is a dynamic and driven individual. He has goals in life that others may find difficult to even imagine. Reds strive forward, always pushing themselves harder, and they almost never give up. Their belief in their own ability is unsurpassed, and they carry inside them the firm belief that they can achieve anything. They're task-oriented extroverts. They enjoy challenges, they make quick decisions, they are natural leaders, they take risks, they're very competitive, they can't sit still, they hate wasting time. They even enjoy winning competitions that probably don't even exist except perhaps in their own mind. Nothing's impossible. Impossible just takes a little bit longer. If we don't push ourselves to the breaking point, then we haven't tried hard enough. Reds set higher demands of themselves than any of the other colors. So those are some of the positive attributes. Some of the negative attributes. Some people say that reds are just belligerent, arrogant, egotistical. They're perceived as unyielding, impatient, aggressive, and controlling because they're more task-oriented than relationship-oriented. So basically, it follows this quadrant here. Look at the quadrant. Have a gaze at this. Task-oriented or relationship-oriented. Okay, reds are the ones who always believe that they are surrounded by idiots. Okay, enter character 2, yellows. Optimistic, cheerful. They're basically like these eternal optimists. Everyone flocks around them. They're the center of the circle. They're entertaining everyone. They know how to capture people's attention. They're very like trusting their gut and like trusting their heart over their head. But also that means they act without thinking a lot. Very focused on creating relationships. They're very outgoing, very creative, very expressive, can talk to anyone. Now, their negatives are that they are seen as selfish, superficial, overconfident, talk too much, very bad listeners. It's more the fact that they're like a little bit of a tornado. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like they're like... It's the only way to describe it is just... Like, I'll be real, they're pretty much just describing a yellow as someone with ADHD, a red as someone like a sociopath or something. A green is like a people pleaser, and a blue is like, if you're a blue, you're pretty much if ChatGPT was a human, right? No emotions, just all facts and evidence, babe. Just all facts. Really, if we're really gonna break it down like that, we're gonna keep it simple. But anyway, I'll carry on. The greens. Green is the most common. They're the most balanced. They're calm, leisurely, outgoing. They are more relationship focused. They don't like to be in the spotlight. They're not very competitive. They're more passive and they're very easy to deal with. They're very tolerant. Green people are just kindness personified. Okay? They do everything in their power to save their relationship and they invest in lifelong relationships. Okay? They're on good terms with everyone. Some of their negatives. This guy pretty much described the negatives to a green person is they're like low-key spineless. Which... come for their neck, like that's fine. They are a person who out of fear of conflict says yes but means no. However, they'll tend to tell the truth behind the back of the person. Pretty much it's like their issue is that like they're so scared of rocking the boat, they'll just kind of like go along and be like yes, but then they'll say how they really feel behind your back. So snake vibes. He said, if you're a green, yes, you're lovely and kind and stuff. You're also a spineless snake. Pretty much, like, that's what he's saying. Afraid of change, stubborn, and they're very reluctant to take a position on sensitive issues. If you take a clear stance on something, then you have to stand up for it. By being all ambiguous and stuff, they think that they can avoid taking responsibility. If I take no stance on anything, then like I don't have to then ever deal with the responsibility of like standing on business when what I believe in is called into question. And then you have the blue. Analyzes, classifies, evaluates, assesses. Everything is very organized a particular way. Nothing's out of place. They're also a pessimist, risk averse. This guy simply knows everything, but he doesn't make a big deal out of it. Whereas a red thinks he knows everything and makes a big deal out of it. Very focused on quality over quantity. Very focused on like doing it right instead of doing it fast. They live by the mantra like if anything's worth doing, it's worth doing the right way. And like the devil's in the details. The negatives of being a blue: perfectionist, pedantic, a little bit tedious, a little bit critical. A blue believes that good enough is never really good enough. This is what we've gone into so far. It's interesting. Obviously, it goes deeper into that. Taking these character profiles and like relating them to like people that you know in real life based off like their personality, and like thinking about like, oh, what category would I fall under, or like which two categories, because apparently most people fit into two categories of these. I'm trying to think like who I would be. I feel like, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm curious to see where he goes with all of this. You know what? Bless that I chose to read this one last, because my eyes are like struggling to stay awake. Because I'm how many? Oh, I got rid of my timer. I don't know how many hours into this I am, but like if it's 7 o'clock now, 5 hours away. Okay, so we would have been at 19. I got rid of my timer because I'm stupid, but like we're 19 hours in. Okay, 5 hours left. Wait. Oh, can I read the rest of this in 5 hours? Surely. Yeah, like, dude, I'm cooked. But this is really entertaining. You know, it feels like we're playing a little game or something. That's what's keeping me alive. That's what's keeping me going. Now that it kind of like goes into the character profiles, then it will go into like how to deal with them. How to avoid conflict with a personality type that doesn't gel with you. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Let's wrap it up. Let's bring it home, baby. Have a look at the time. Have a look at the time update. It's 9:30. You know what book I'm reading. Why did I even do that? I just lost my page. I don't need this right now. Seriously, I'm literally so fragile right now. Like oh man, I want to go to sleep. How many hours away are we now? 3, 10:30, 11:30, 2.5. Yo, I said 3 just pulling that number out of my ass, but that actually ended up being correct. I think I'm a blue, always correct. Me and this book have been chatting about, what have we been discussing? How to adapt to dealing with each of these types of people. If you have a boss or people that you're working with that fall into any of these 4 categories, it tells you how to amicably get along and work and deal with each of these personality types. Mr. Red is not here to be your pal, okay? He's here for only one reason, to do business. If you're weak, see ya. The worst thing you can do is let a red walk all over you, because if a red is permitted to walk over you, you lose something very important in his eyes. Respect. Okay, if he doesn't respect you, he'll eat you alive. Good to know. Thank you for that. Here's the thing, is like, I can't... But you know what I'm not understanding? The title. Because where are the idiots in question? This is not what I was thinking it would be. Because it's actually, there's no idiots here. This is really just a book on human behavior. This line right here, I think, is the part of the book that really drives home the point, okay, of how they all work together. In a group, the best possible dynamic, the yellows come up with the new idea, the red makes the decision, the green does the work, the blue evaluates and makes sure that the results are excellent. Then we've spent some time talking about how all of the dynamics work, which combinations of people work best together and which combination don't. As we can see, I would like everyone to refer to figure 1, okay? Natural combinations, blue and green. Not a lot of butting heads there. Red and yellow work well together. They both set high goals and they both motivate everyone around them to achieve great things. I don't know if I agree with that fully though, because yellows are relationship focused and reds are not. Then you have complementary combinations, blues and red. Peep my notes. I've made some very great notes here. Green and yellow. One talks, the other listens. Challenging combinations are obviously red and green and yellow and blue, because the yellow is just like too full on. The blues just wants to be chill. You know what I mean? You're following? I thought we'd read the final part together, okay? What makes them mad? So, a red, his temper is like a shot glass, okay? Doesn't take much for them to lose their temper. A shot glass may be quick to reach capacity, but it doesn't take long to empty it. You following me? Outburst, and then they're back to normal. Done. Moving on with life. Yellows is an everyday drinking glass. Because they're so expressive and emotional, you will know. You'll notice it filling up. You'll notice if it's getting on the verge of overflowing. With a yellow reaching their tipping point, you throw out a little shot glass, minimal mess. You know, it's only a shot worth of liquid to clean up. Regular drinking glass, a bit more messy. Green's temperament is a 50-gallon beer barrel. Takes a long time to get that thing to capacity, right? But once a green snaps, man, tsunami. It may take several years before the barrel is full, but once you take the barrel and pour the contents out, everything will be washed away. Blues, metaphorically speaking, have as big of a barrel as greens, but there's one crucial difference. At the bottom of the barrel, there's a little tap. So pretty much that they can regulate the pressure whenever they need to. So their dissatisfaction just comes out in like tiny, constant grumblings every now and then, instead of just like the greens that act like everything's all fine, bottling everything up for an extended period of time and then eventually reaching a tipping point and just having like the most ugly explosion ever. I don't know if it's just because like I haven't slept in like 3 days, but that is literally the most genius thing I've ever read. Give him a you know what, I was clowning before, but give him a Pulitzer. Give this man a Pulitzer Prize. We finished the book. We made it. Oh my god. What is the time? Okay, peep this. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. If I don't go to I'm gonna be real with you, I feel dead. I don't know about you. Dude, I'm going to sleep. Dude, my eyes feel like they're on fire. I don't understand how people are doing these readathons and they're reading like 6 books in 24 hours. Man, I could only read 3. Oh my god, everything hurts. I'm literally in pain. Like my head is throbbing. I feel sick. I'm gonna be sick tomorrow for sure. Final thoughts? There's no thoughts in this. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. There's no thoughts in my head right now. Not a single one. I can't tell if I thought this was amazing because I'm just not here. Like, just not here on this planet with you guys. This was the best thing I've ever read, but also like the worst thing I've ever read. Like so garbage, but like so genius. I'm not gonna elaborate any further on that actually. You know what? I'm gonna leave that to sit and stew with you guys and you can figure that one out.